Morning. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's week? I always start off with that question. My weekend was eventful. Actually just flew in this morning. Was on a flight. Was supposed to be back yesterday, Sunday. Obviously, I'm trying to record this and post this for the first time on Monday. So I apologize for the tardiness. Yesterday was a whirlwind. Uh, Previously booked my flight. Just want to tell a quick story about faith and belief in God, and have a meeting today, Monday, early morning, and was kind of nervous yesterday when the weather got bad in DC. Um, my flight, it was supposed to be 4 o'clock. Uh, they pushed back and canceled every flight. They even offered me a next day flight, which I'd have been late. I wouldn't have made it. That's not a possibility. No matter what, I'm a firm believer. Whatever you do on a weekend, whatever you do for fun, whatever you do, like the work has to be done. The work has to keep going, and you can't be late. You can't miss. And I mean, I was at that point of about to be late. I was going to be late. I was gonna send a text message. I actually sent a text message to a few of my supervisors to say that I would probably be late, and it bothered me because that's just who I am. Like, work is important to me, no matter what I do on a weekend. And the weather is really bad, but the truth is, right, I'd rather be alive than trying to force myself on a plane. I think God has a plan for everything. He works in the details of what we, human beings have lack in belief. Like, He's working things out. And last night, probably about 9, 10 o'clock, they canceled my final flight, and there was no other flight from DC to Baton Rouge. And the lady who works at the front counter, she kind of was like, "Hey," I walked up to her and I was like, "Is there a way to get me to Baton Rouge?" And she was like, "It's not really. The flights are kind of grounded in Atlanta, and that's the only reason." Was I don't fly, so I had no idea. I thought like they have like these planes sitting around in the airport, like backup planes, right? That they just fly out. I had no idea that the plane comes from here, 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 and then it has to get. So I did, I learned that was new yesterday. So, but me and her just started to talk about our faith, and she was like, "There's an 8 a.m. flight in the morning in Atlanta. Um, that's I can put you on standby." And again, I don't know what any of that means. I only flew a few times, and so, um, and that I was like, okay, and I was like, but how about, like, if I get to Atlanta, I'm driving. Like, if I get to Atlanta at 12 o'clock, I'm driving. I rented a car already. I'm driving. And she was like, "Oh, you got to have more faith. Like, you're gonna drive 8, 9 hours." I said, "Yes, I can't be late." She said, "Well, you can get on that 8 o'clock flight." And I'm like, "Well, ma'am, the 8 o'clock flight, right, is a standby. Meaning, if everybody show up, I don't have a seat." And she continued to say, "Look, if you have faith, I think God has a plan for you. Um, you have to trust Him. Don't get in the car. Like, you don't need to do that. That's a long drive. You're gonna be tired." And so, in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, I hear you. I understand. I get it. When I get to Atlanta, I'm driving." Um, and I think that's really why my flights kept getting canceled, because they had no reason. If you look it up, like, there was like, the weather's bad, but I was seeing United flights fly in to DC. I was seeing United flights leave DC, and so it was just Delta. And I think a part of it was, I don't think God wanted me to get on the road. So I booked my flight. I booked my rental, I think, at like 10:30. My flight kept getting pushed back, until when they canceled my flight, probably about 9 o'clock. I was like, I'm gonna just go back and then get up in the morning and see what I can do. Like, I'm gonna be late. And they made an announcement that the flight that was supposed to be, there's another flight. The pilot got on another plane, and that plane was headed to DC. It was on the tarmac. It was on the runway, waiting to take off. And so they moved me to that without me asking. They just sent me an alert on my phone, um, because some people who have been waiting in the airport, that flight was supposed to be before mine. They had already left. They had already booked flights for the next day, flights that I got mad about that I couldn't get because I was still waiting there. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna be late. Like if you guys would have told me this earlier, I could have booked that flight but like that wasn't the plan. Like I had a whole different message for this podcast. I had a whole different thought process about this podcast, and then yesterday happened. Um, like it's not your plan. It's not our plan. Like I don't know if you believe in God or not. I do. I especially do after yesterday. Like I've never seen that before. And again, I'm not a frequent flyer, so but my thought process is I tried my best to figure out a way to get here, and none of it worked. Like they canceled like 6 or 7 flights. My plane actually is still in Atlanta. I mean, still in Atlanta. Never took off. They said they had malfunction with the plane. Um, but I kept saying, if I can get to Atlanta, I'm driving. No matter what, I'm driving. And I don't know what God was protecting me from, right? My ego, maybe, my pride. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get this done. It's out of my control. I can't stress about it. You can't either. Whatever it is you're going through in your life, you can't stress over. It's going to happen. You cannot control it. Don't harm yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Don't stress yourself out. That bill is going to get paid. The rent's going to get paid. The relationship's going to get fixed. Like the job, you're going to get that promotion. Like, stop stressing over it. Just do what you normally do. Pray and give it to God. Now leave it with Him. Don't put your hands in it. That's why I believe yesterday I struggled as much as I did, because I just kept trying to mingle and meddle. I kept putting my hands in something that had nothing to do with me. Like the thought of trying to get on another flight when it's storming and raining, like you never know what happens. You don't know what God's protecting you from. Even when you get you driving trying to get to work and you speeding and a cop pull you over. Like, why the cop pull me over? This person was speeding too. Listen, maybe he's protecting you from a car accident. I'd rather a ticket. I'd rather be late to work than to not be here because the plane crashed, because I'm trying to force myself on airplanes to get back to work. That's the truth. And my supervisor was telling me, hey, take your time, don't do that, don't do that. And in my mind, because of who I am, because of how I'm wired, I can't be late. I can't be late. I can't be tardy. I can't be absent. That's unacceptable. And so that's fueling me to try to figure out ways to do this and do that. And guess what? It wasn't my plan. That's not my job. My job is to live. My job is to worship and serve God. My job is to serve people. It's not my job to figure things out. I'm truly leaving that in God's hands. And the flight landed. I was actually upgraded to first class from my trip from DC to Atlanta. And when I got to Atlanta, I was extremely tired. And the next flight that was a standby flight, they actually confirmed me to that flight. The flight that the lady said have faith in, that it's going to work out, that somebody's not going to show up. Like, that's the ultimate test of faith. Like, really, when you have something that you really need to do, if I didn't get on that 8 o'clock flight, there's no way for me to make it to Louisiana at 10:30. Zero. There's no way. So I could either land at 1, 2 in the morning and then drive and really, really fast, right? Because again, to think about it, I think it's an 8-hour trip from Atlanta to Baton Rouge. Specifically, my plane got me to Atlanta to the fact that I could not drive and make it here on time anyway. Otherwise, I still would have. If I'd have got there at 12 o'clock, that's enough time for me. I'd have gotten in the rental car and I'd have been driving. That's who I am. That's the truth. But that was not God's plan for me today. And so I didn't board. We got on the flight. The flight took a little longer to take off. And I'm just looking at my phone. And the more I realized that's just not how it's supposed to go. Stop it. Stop trying to meddle in God's affairs for your life. What's going to happen is going to happen. He had a plan for you before you were born, before you ever thought of, before your name was ever written down. There's a plan for you. And we just living it. Not saying just don't do anything, right? You have to do productive things in your life. You have gifts He given you. You can't bury your head in the sand. But some things are out of our control, and that's mainly the things we stress over. That's mainly the things that we worry about. That's mainly the things that cause depression with us. We try to control things that we have no control over. You cannot do anything about it raining outside. You can't do anything about your alarm not going off. Just get up, get ready. Don't rush anything. Enjoy life. Enjoy the moments. Like, don't rush through anything because you don't know what harm you're putting yourself in. I thank God that He put all those roadblocks and stumbling blocks in front of me, because I'm telling you, as I'm sitting right here talking to y'all, I was going to drive. I was going to drive. That's just who I am. And He had to slow me down to protect me from something. I don't even know what it was, but I know it wasn't meant to be because it didn't happen. I have to learn, and we have to learn, that if it's supposed to happen, it's going to flow. It's not going to have any grievance, any sorrow, any drama, any turmoil. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. Let it happen. I was not supposed to drive to Baton Rouge, so I didn't. And so when I got up this morning, I slept because I was so tired. I just sat down and I said, I'm going to, sit down and I'm going to think about it. Once I got to Atlanta, got off my flight. And even then, when it was too late, I got here. I have a meeting at 10:30. I got here at 10:45. I'm like, I can still do it. Like, that's insane. When I'm going to do 100 miles an hour, I probably would have tried. That's the truth. Especially if you get, if you're on the road, once you get close to your destination, you got to pick it up, right? Because I can get there. That's dangerous. That's lacking of faith. That's on me. And I have to do a better job. Like, I'm not perfect. But getting to the airport, I sat down, right, and fell asleep. That's how tired I was. And I was going to get on the road. That's unsafe. My family wouldn't have appreciated that. Neither would yours or any of y'all's who's stressing yourself or harming yourself or putting yourself through a lot because you can't control something that you have no business controlling. It's God's plan. Your life is going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You survived 100% of your bad days. You're going to be okay. He already has a plan. Once you pray about it, once you give it to Him, give it to Him. Stop being cliche and say, I'm going to give it to God, and then you're still worried. Then you're still stressed. That's not how that goes. I'm telling you this from experience. I was stressed. I was worried. I was calling who I could call. I'm trying to see if I got really good friends who own jets. Like, it's still the same issue as raining. They're not going to let you take off in D.C. Got to Atlanta, like I said, and got up this morning and realized, okay, like, I'm trusting in God. I have no choice but to trust in God now. And got to the flight, and the guy's like, oh, no, you're confirmed. You're good. You were confirmed last night. They just didn't update you. Sometimes God's doing things He ain't got to tell you. He ain't got to keep you up to date on what He got going on. You don't run Him. If you ask Him for something, trust that it's going to happen. I asked Him last night that I would get to Atlanta and that I would get here before my meeting. And I got here probably about 9 o'clock. So I can jump on this podcast. I can talk about what just happened, because obviously that's what God wanted. Maybe this whole ordeal was for me to talk about this topic to the world. That's all He was just using me for, that, because I made it here with time to spare. I can do whatever I need to do to get over and take care instead of just driving, pulling up, having to pay extra for the rent a car because it's a one way. Like, all that, that's more added stress. Just so I can try to do what I want to do. And that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes at all. And you have to understand that that's not how it goes. Like, that's not how the plan is. That's not what the plan is. It's not for you to decide. It's not for any of us to decide. Like, you're here to live your life. You're here to serve people and be of service. You're here to serve God. You're here for whatever plan He has. And along the way, we get to enjoy this. Like, we're gonna enjoy this every day. But I realize we bring that stress on ourselves. That stress that I had the last 24 hours was not needed. Last 12 hours was not needed. Because I got on a plane, I had a better seat, I was able to sit way up ahead of where I was supposed to sit. I was confirmed. I never had any stress. I never had any doubt. Right? In my mind, I doubted, but there was no doubt. The man told me this morning, said, "Oh no, it was taken care of." He couldn't even tell me who took care of it. It was anybody who knows standby, right? Like you gotta wait all the way until you get on the plane. Everybody get on the plane, like, oh, okay, we got extra seats left. No, like I had my seat before we even boarded. I had my seat before I left Atlanta. I mean, before I left DC. Like that's a blessing, and I had to realize I had to ask God for forgiveness, right? Because that's like that's I lacked belief in Him, in something I asked Him for. Like we can't be losing our mind when we're asking for stuff. When I say, "Hey, look, God, I want this. I need you to do this for me," I have to trust that He's gonna do it, but I have to have the faith that He's gonna do it, and I have to put it in motion as if He's gonna do it, because He's going to do it because I asked for it. Knocking, the door shall be open. Asking, you shall receive. Like none says, "Hey, no, you can't get that." Maybe it might be a little wait, be patient. But in this moment, it couldn't be any patience, right? Because it was a right now blessing. It was a right now miracle. And that's what that was. I got here, got on a plane, and was able to get here just before my meeting, way before. And if you asked me 12 hours ago, if you looked at my text messages 12 hours ago, that was not the case. If you looked at the alerts on my phone 12 hours ago, that was not the case. I was going to be late. Actually, I didn't even have a flight because the 6 a.m. flight and the 8 a.m. flight were all booked. So if I would not have made it out of DC last night, I would still be in DC right now. Probably waiting on a flight Tuesday. So it looked dim, it looked bleak, it looked impossible, right? That's when God operates. And we got to learn to give Him that. We got to learn to fully trust Him. That includes myself. Like it's His plan. It's His plan, not ours. And it becomes His plan when we let Him in. When we go to Him and we ask Him, God, I need you to do this in my life. I'll follow your guidance, right? I'll follow your footstep. I'll follow your path that you have for me. We have to truly do that. Don't ask Him for something and don't do it. Don't ask Him for it and then stress about it. What's the point of asking Him? What's the point of asking for something if you're going to stress about it? You might as well just stress about it. But it's not going to get taken care of. The only way this happens is because of God. There's no other way. And so that's why I tell you all, like I'm telling myself, learn to keep trusting Him. Keep trust in Him. Because if you ask of it, He's going to give it to you. You just got to be patient and you got to believe in it. Once you do that, like life is easy. Life is a breeze. Like I know that now. And again, I've experienced this my whole life. But sometimes you need a reminder. Sometimes you need a reminder of how good God is, of how powerful He is, and how He's in the details. Like we're going to be okay. I know we're going to be okay. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I just had to get this off my chest. I had to talk about this experience because I think someone else is probably dealing with the same thing. Keep trust in Him. When you ask for it, just believe in it. It's going to happen, but your faith is going to get tested. And even still, the greatness of God is even when we doubt, He still blesses. It's not like us humans that when we doubt, we walk away. We don't want to deal with anybody anymore. He still holds firm. And I love Him for that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all keep going. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. Be blessed.